Well folks, how are we all doing? Back out exploring again, and this is where I'll be today. It feels so good to be back here. What a place. Alright folks, so I found tonight's camping spot here at Cruachan Reservoir, and I've decided to come back here because I have been here before, and I came here back in summer last year, the end of July to be exact. It's now the middle of February, and I just fell in love with Ben Cruachan, the Munro here. Up over there's another Munro called Stop Dam, and there's also a Munro top, and it was the views just up there looking down to this reservoir that really caught my attention. But also the view here looking up, it's just as good, and I thought it'd be really nice just to spend the night just off the wee track. There's a fantastic access track, to be fair, up to the bottom of the Munro before you start climbing up to the left towards Ben Cruachan. So yeah, it's not bad. It's to piss down with rain tonight according to the Met Office, so we'll see how that goes. So another reason why I came here is because you're a lot higher than the reservoir, so if it does flood then it shouldn't affect where I'm camped. And then, yeah, worst case scenario is the track's right there, and then the car's only about 45 minutes away. So it's a good walk. It's a good walk in the winter months, especially for keeping fit. I imagine this place with snow would be really nice as well. I'm surprised because that is the top of a Munro, like I've just mentioned, and there's hardly any snow on it. So that does surprise me a wee bit. I thought there'd be a lot more snow when I left the house today. But yeah, it's to rain tonight like I said, and whether or not it snows up there I'll find out tomorrow, providing there's no cloud. Anyway, going to get the backpack off and find somewhere flat in this area. It's not the flattest bit, it's on a slight slope, but yeah, I should hopefully find somewhere for the tent. I'm also a wee bit concerned by how rocky it is here, so yeah, we'll see. So that's me all set up now. MSR Elixir 1 is the tent of choice, just the usual sleeping setup inside, but we have got everything all good to go for tonight. I've got about an hour until it's dark, less than an hour till sunset anyway. So I'm just making the most of the views now that I've got everything set up. Usually when you're coming to a place like this, you're looking for camping spots rather than enjoying the actual view. Like I said, I've been here before, but it's actually nice just to stand still and just take it in. When I'm out doing my day trips in the summer, I've got a habit of just being constantly on the go. I don't really stop. So it is nice just to take a tent to places like this. You're here for the night anyway. Now, the weather forecast tonight, I've already mentioned it, I think. It's meant to rain heavy, according to the Met Office. It's a shame that, but you know what, I'm due a wet camp, you could say. I could pick the days I can go out, but I can't pick the weather. So we'll see how that goes. It is meant to hit 50-mile-an-hour winds up on the ridge and summits of Ben Cruachan and all the other mountains around, so we'll see how windy it is down here. That's gusts up there averaging about 30 to 35 mile an hour, so whether or not it's windy down here, given I'm in a pretty sheltered spot as well, quite close to the cliffs here. Just, well, you'll not see it, it's actually behind the camera, but yeah, I've picked a fairly sheltered spot for tonight. Imagine if I was camped at the end of the reservoir down there under the mountains. Could be a wee bit more exposed, so trying to avoid the wind. One thing I won't be able to avoid is the rain, but at least I've managed to get quite a flat bit of ground here. Considering I'm on a slight slope, I've managed to get the flattest bit anyway here. You would struggle to get more than one tent here, but the ground is extremely rocky. Matter of fact, I've had to put some rocks down in some of the points, just in case the wind does get to me. I'm not sure if the pegs would hold, so hopefully the rocks will do something, just to at least get the fly sheet pinned down. So I'm just taking in the views over the reservoir now. I have to say this is probably my favourite bit of the trip, when I finally get to sit in front of the tent. I do a lot of my videos, just sitting in front of the tent, just taking in the views. Absolutely love it, I really do. So as you would have seen, I did collect water from a water source down there. I was well aware that I was camping next to the reservoir first of all, but also very well aware that I'm surrounded by hills and mountains here. With the heavy rain that was forecast last night, and it clearly must have came because there's tons of water everywhere, I knew that there'd be plenty of water. So if I need water, I'm only about 20 seconds away from the nearest water source. It's a bit, the water's coming down at some speed, like I did get a bit soaked, but it is there, and I'll use that water first for tonight's meal, which is this chicken tikka and rice from Expedition Foods, unless you can see it there. Expedition Foods is something I really enjoy. I have it on the odd occasion, so I'm having that tonight. I've also got meatballs and pasta from Wayfarer meal, in case I change my mind, but I'll probably will stick with the Expedition Foods, and I'm going to have that once it gets a bit darker. Now, as far as the time is, I'll check for you now. This will give me an idea. 5:15, about 40 minutes daylight maybe. It's daylight just until about 6 o'clock now, middle of February. 6 weeks until the clocks go forward roughly. Oh, can't wait. Bring on the midges, bring on the daylight, bring on the sunsets and sunrises on the summits again in summer conditions. Can't wait for it. Well, I had to let you enjoy the view of these mountains one last time before they go dark. It's some view, like, what a place. To think I only lived 2 hours from this, I mean, it's just so worth the 90-mile drive to get here, to see views like that, you know. Okay, the view up the mountains are better, don't get me wrong, looking down here, it's superb. How do I know? Well, I've been up there. But I love camping at reservoirs that are, or lochs that are underneath mountains like that. It's like Loch Turret Reservoir too at Crieff with Ben Honza and Auchnifree Hill looking down from last year with Nicky and Monty. It's the exact same. I just really love it. I do. I think it's awesome. I just can't believe that if they do get the forecast correctly, just stumbled on my words there a wee bit, but if they do get the forecast correct tonight, Should be raining in the next hour. Just can't believe how settled it is right now. Alright, so I've checked the rainfall radar, the live rainfall radar, and yeah, it looks like the rain's going to come in fairly quickly. And it looks like it's going to be heavy looking at the colour of it too. So yeah, I'm going to get a quick bite to eat. I always prefer cooking outside the tent. If the rain does come in, we'll go into the vestibule and get shelter, but yeah. So I'm going to turn the head torch on. Hopefully this won't disturb the video too much, but I need to see what I'm doing. So yes, let's get the stove made up. Brand new canister for this trip. Oh, I'm all over the place again. Oh, where's my stand? Oh, there it is. There it is there. Right, let's get this in. Another reason why I want to do this is I'm going to put more water in that jet boil, so if yeah, if I want another meal later on tonight, I don't need to go out in the piss and rain. I'll have water ready. So, stove is right there. Don't know if you'll see it. I think before I light it, I'm going to look for that blooming thing in here. Where is it? Is it at the top? There it is. That's what I'm talking about. Right. Good start for this one. Let's see if I get through this trip without spilling water everywhere. Where's my lighters now? It's doing a good job of losing things right enough. Right, okay, let's light this first. There we go. Plenty of water there to boil. I'm sure the jet boil will do a good job of that. Where's the lid? There it is. Steam coming out of there. What's going on? Oh, it's getting close. Can't I get this fork out of the bag? Look, it keeps getting stuck. Oh, it's always a drama with me when it comes to making meals. Oh, come on. There we go. Right, I managed to beat the jet boil there. Oh, here we go. Looking forward to that. It's going to be quite nice. Chicken tikka with rice. It's really starting to get dark now, so middle of February, dark by 6. Or very low light by 6. You can still see a fair bit, to be fair. It's starting to rain, I think. Just hang on the next 20 minutes. Just wait now. Talking to the sky like it can hear me. Talking to the sky like it can hear me. Getting a bit of heat off the jet boil from my hands. Freezing. Now what I'll do is actually, while I'm waiting for that to do its thing, because you have to give that 10 minutes to rehydrate, I'll go and put more water in this stove. That's if it ever boils right enough. Ooh! Oh, I see a lot of bubbles. Right, cool. Before it floods everywhere. Put the lid back on for pouring it back out. Right. There's always a gamble with me how much water to put in this. Oh, didn't pour it back out of your stove. Word of advice to anyone who's new to camping: if you're pouring water into one of these meals, don't do it over your stove like I just did. It's a stupid idea. Always seems like you've got a lot of these until you actually put water in. It all just sinks to the bottom of the pack. Right, I'll catch you later. Alright, so that meal was actually quite nice. The chicken tikka and rice, and the rain's now starting to get just a little bit heavier. It's still on the light side, but just in the last 10 minutes I had to move into the tent and get a bit of shelter, but I managed to go to the little water source down there and refill my stove up before the rain got heavier, so perfect. Now for dessert, I've got some Morrison's milk chocolate cookies, the best they call it, £1.75, I thought it said 25. Tell you what, the prices of things are going up big time now, like, they used to be only what, 150 I think, or maybe even 120. And I've got an iron brew. Oh, it feels good. Taking a bit of shelter from the rain, eh? Not had one of these camps in a while. But this isn't heavy rain, we'll see if the Met Office is correct. Judging by that rainfall radar, I think they are, like. What time's it? What time is it? It is 6:30. And the rain's meant to pick up for 7, so we'll see what happens. But I'm going to have some of this, and I'm actually going to have a wee bit of a chill out now. I've got a phone service, so I'll maybe stick a bit of YouTube on and catch up with some of my favourite channels. Oh, they're really thin cookies, like. And they fall apart. These are apparently the best. Oop, there. Alright, so it's nearly 8 o'clock now. A couple of hours since I had something to eat roughly. Yeah, the rain has been pretty consistent the last hour. It's been quite nice to listen to. It's not too loud in the tents, it's not too heavy. If it stays like this all night, I'll be happy. It's actually nice to have a rainy camp when I actually get the tent up before it rains. You know, so I'm pretty dry. It makes a big difference that. I just love the Elixir one as well. It's so spacious, this tent. Great for this sort of camping in the rain where you can't really get out. So yeah, having these cookies at the moment, I showed you them earlier. The best they're called from Morrison's. You know what, they actually taste quite nice, but like they just fall apart in your hand, like seriously. It's like I've poured a bunch of water over it. But this one seems to have stayed in a shape of a cookie, so at least one actually stayed like a cookie. The rest of it's just kind of, it actually looks like I've stuck on the road and just ran it out with my car. But yeah, well, they taste nice, so credit where credit's due. But imagine in the summer they would melt. All the chocolate chip would just melt everywhere and it would just not that. Oh, it's fell apart. But no, they do actually taste quite nice, but oh, as you can see, they just fall apart. Anyway, enough of that. I'll finish that tonight because, yeah, like I said, they're quite nice. But no, seriously guys, if you're ever thinking about camping and you're not sure where to go in Scotland, oh, you're just spoilt for choice. Seriously, I definitely recommend going north of Glasgow and Edinburgh if you're ever coming up here to visit, because it's just so worth the drive. It really is. Only I could go from talking about mushy cookies to the beautiful Scottish scenery in one video, but nah, seriously. Love the Pentlands to bits, love the views of the city, but there's just something special about these sort of camps, you know. So go down to -2 at Ben Cruachan, and it's only to go down to about 3 or 4 degrees where I am tonight, so we'll see how that goes. But right now it's supposed to be snowing up Ben Cruachan. Just wondering what's going on, because it looks like there's actually rain getting through the tent. It's like a slight leak, I don't know. I need to investigate that. As long as it doesn't come into the inner, but with this door open, yeah, I'm not sure. I'll need to check that out. So it does look like the tent's letting a wee bit of water in. which has never happened. This tent's always been good in the rain, and I have tested it in the rain a few times, right enough. Alright, to pass a bit of time, I'm actually on the Met Office website, just checking the weather forecast again for Ben Cruachan. It kind of caught my attention with the wind, or the wind speed. On the summit of Ben Cruachan we're getting up to 55mph gusts. Yeah, I just checked the weather forecast for where my car's parked. It's not too far from a place called Dalmally, if that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. But Dalmally, right where my car's parked, it's not too far, it's only about 10 minutes away. No wind at all. It just shows you, you know, how quickly the weather can change on the hills and mountains, and why you've got to be prepared for it, you know. I'm sure a lot of people watching this video have made the mistake of going up the hills and mountains, and then, you know, the weather's good at the car, then when you get halfway up it's kind of changeable, and then when you get to the top it's just a completely different day. It's caught me out a lot, in Torridon especially, in September 21, I think it was, 2021 I done that trip. I went up Ben Alligin and Ben A, and when we were at the campsite, the Torridon campsite, the weather was perfect, you know, bit of midges, but there was really no wind, and it was a different day. And then we got to the summit, the first minute up Ben Alligin, and wow, I've never seen wind like it, and I've never heard wind like it too. The noise when the wind was hitting off the rocks, visibility was dreadful that day, it was soaking wet. So yeah, it's going to be a completely different night up Ben Cruachan and the nearby mountains here for sure, based on that weather forecast. But yeah, it's quite nice and peaceful inside the tent. There's no really any wind. The wind is meant to change direction tonight, so we'll see if that affects the tent. But at the moment I'm quite laid back, quite relaxed, and just enjoying the sounds of the rain hitting off the tent. So we're coming on to 9 o'clock now, getting a bit tired, so I'm thinking of wrapping the video up and ending what has been quite an enjoyable day. You know, the drive up was quite long, a lot of traffic and a lot of people on the road. Unfortunately that's the thing about Friday, the roads are just a little bit busier. A lot of tailgating going on, people think they're Max Verstappen, honestly. As soon as they see that A82 up to the bridge of Orkney, I know I've not been there yet, but honestly, don't even get me started. I look forward to Glencoe, but at the same time I don't, because the road up is just a nightmare. Then you've got to try and get parked. But no, once I arrived at the Falls of Cruachan, I mean, like, it's just been a great adventure. The climb up's steep, relentless, but it's all part of the fun, isn't it? So yeah, talking of fun, I've really enjoyed it, and yeah, I'm going to call it a night for YouTube unless something happens. But I think the rain's just going to kind of stay like this now, which is very relaxing to listen to. It really is. I just hope the wind doesn't pick up like it's forecast on the tops, but like I said, where the car's parked, it's to only stay at about 1-2 mile an hour, but it's to go down to absolutely nothing later on tonight. So yeah, we'll see if we're in a shelter spot or not later on. But yeah, if it gets exciting I'll bring you back during the night, but if not, I'll see you tomorrow morning, and hopefully this rain will be away by then. Well, good morning folks, and I've got to say it's a really nice morning for it. A couple of hours ago it was really foggy and you couldn't really see much. It's all kind of lifted and burnt off, and it's left some blue skies above the mountains. It was forecast to be good today, and I was in two minds whether or not to still do this camp which I initially planned, or do my first Monroe of the year, and I chose the camp. Decided just to keep it simple instead of changing my mind and then not doing anything. I've done that a few times last year, and I'm glad I stuck to my plan because it was still an enjoyable night. I really enjoyed listening to the rain, and this morning I've got some cracking views. Now I'm going to start packing my gear away inside the tent and thinking about getting back down to the car. But before I do that, I'm going to give my location rating out of 10 for this specific place where I'm camped here, and this is going to be the first one that will get into the very good category. I'm going to give this an 8.2 out of 10. First of all, I'll start off with the things that I dislike about it. So the ground's quite uneven and rocky. You will need to bring a mallet or just hammer the pegs in with a rock if you're careful. And unfortunately the track is pretty close to where I'm camped. But I do have a phone service though, so I could relax and listen to a bit of, you know, YouTube, or watch a bit of YouTube. And yeah, when that rain came down, I was kind of stuck in the tent. It was pitch dark out here last night. It was probably the darkest place I've ever camped. But I think that was because the fog was down last night. Couldn't really see anything when I opened the tent door. But it's the views of the mountains and the hills across the reservoir that do it for me. I think it's absolutely amazing. And if you're coming here by yourself and you don't mind being next to the track, maybe it's winter time like this, so it's a wee bit quieter, then I would definitely recommend pitching here, because the views are brilliant, you know, across the reservoir. I did go down there, and I've been there before, like I said. I've done a summer trip here, and if I can get the footage off my phone, if I've still got it, I might put it in at the end of the trip, or the end of this video, so you can see what it's like up there looking down here. That's if I've still got it on my phone. I mean, like, this was July last year. I don't know if I've deleted it, but yeah, I might share it with you if I've still got it. So yeah, 8.2 out of 10 for camping, and hopefully this year, or certainly at some point, I'll be back up there, and I might get another camp up there maybe. Yeah, I think it'd be amazing. Maybe even do another day hike here. Any excuse to come back here, I'll take it, because it's absolutely beautiful. Alright folks, just trying to get down here with the backpack on. I do apologise if it's a wee bit blurry. There's a lot of dampness and the lens just keeps getting damp, so I'll make this quick, but that's me wrapping up the video here. It's been a very enjoyable trip away. My second time here at Cruachan Reservoir, and I've seen it from the ground on a camping trip, and I've been up there. Like I said, I think I've said it, if I've still got the footage from my phone, I might stick it in the video at the end, so you can see it from up there. But it's just an absolutely beautiful place, this. I always knew it'd be good for camping. So, as always folks, I hope you've enjoyed coming along with me for this trip. Feel free to give me a like if you did, possibly subscribe if you're new around here. And I was going to get up and walk away, but I'm not going to embarrass myself trying to get back up with this backpack on. So yeah, until the next trip, take care. You can hear the traffic. It's that calm of day, you can actually hear what's going on down at the roads. But yeah, I've finally done the 2 Monroes. It's just gone 11. It took me 4 hours to do the 2. But yeah, there's the first one in the cloud up there. That one's actually cloud free, but people are up there, so I've came down here. Got a nice view over the reservoir. And then I've got another blooming cloud to deal with. They're kind of just hanging off the summits, or off the cliffs. They're not quite getting onto the path. So you can kind of see the route you're taking, which is okay, but I was kind of hoping to sit at that summit since that summit's busy. But that's probably not going to happen. what I might do is just face the reservoir down there. But yeah, I was kind of hoping it'd be clear all day, get nice views the whole time, including on the summit. A wee bit disappointing I never got a view of Ben Cruachan, because Ben Cruachan was the some mountains I don't really care about views, and there's some that I really want to save for clear days, and this was a route I wanted to save for a clear day, and it was forecast to be clear. What I will say is visibility is excellent when you do get out the cloud, like you can see away down there. The views up to Glen Etive are really nice, have to be said. Yeah, not a bad day, very enjoyable, good path now, but the short sections of fairly simple, not too exposed scrambling as well, did break up the walk a wee bit. Didn't take too long to get over the bit between the two minnows, to be fair. Could have went a wee bit quicker if I wanted, but I like getting the phone out and doing these videos when I'm by myself, gives me something to do. Got a habit of talking through the route. Nice wee peak over there as well, which must be maybe a Monroe top or something. Never went up it because of the visibility. Didn't really want to go up, but I might revisit it at some point. There's two Monroes just over there, you'll not see them obviously, but so I'll get another crack at this area. I'm going to make sure that I was going to say I'm going to make sure that I definitely get a clear day, but you can never bag a clear day, can you? You either get it or you don't when it's forecast. Clouds are definitely dominating it this year, like.